I'm starting today's video with mirror concepts of a plan, which at this point is masochistic because this was probably the most chaotic purchase I've ever made with American Girl in the last 3 years. I purchased this doll in the middle of a hurricane while I was unable to contact my family, so yeah, we all know where my priorities are. So this is your cue to grab some empty calories, pull up a chair, and we are going to unbox my third American Girl Create Your Own doll. All right, this box is blocking my light, so I'm gonna put it down here, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of a backstory about what ended up happening with this doll. So, yes, the hurricane hit. I was unable to reach my family because of the massive devastation of the hurricane, and people were without power, water. Like, we won't get into it. It was terrible. So yeah, I basically was trying to distract myself while everything was going on, and American Girl was running a sale at the time conveniently, so I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to like sit and basically panic buy a create your own doll. Which those of you that chat with me in our Discord know that basically every 4 weeks or so I hop in there and I'm like, hey, I'm buying a new create your own doll, let me like post like all 10 options that I'm considering and then completely freak out and not buy any of them. So yeah, sorry about that if you're in the Discord saying like, oh yeah, for real this time? Actually, yeah, for real this time I finally pulled the trigger on actually buying a doll. And I got it in my head that I really wanted a light-skinned Addy doll, and I had been wanting one, like, basically like with the Create Your Own line, I prefer to like make the boy dolls because they basically have 2 boy dolls in their line now, and I'm getting a little bit suspicious that they're going to discontinue those as well. We shall see in the next year or so what happens, but I'm getting a little bit nervous that if they discontinue the boy dolls, they might also discontinue the shorter wigs, both being the side part cut and I think they call it high top curly. Those are the 2 main wigs that people use to make boy dolls. So I've really been kind of prioritizing making dolls with those 2 wig styles, again, just out of pure like panic buying basically, like it's 2020 all over again and I'm buying up all the toilet paper, which I did not do, by the way. That was really messed up for people to like fill their houses with toilet paper when people couldn't get it. I'm gonna try not to make more natural disaster references today. I will do my best. But that's really been my main goal with the Create Your Own line, is to basically try and create a big gang of boy dolls, because American Girl is not doing so much of that anymore, at least in my opinion. So that's kind of where I'm at. I really love boy dolls. I love being able to dress them in clothes that honestly are a little bit more aspirational to me. I have to say, I think my dolls dress quite a bit better than I do. As you'll see, I'm going to show you a clip of me reacting to opening this doll, which has happened already, but I'll get into it later. But yeah, I basically filmed the unboxing in my underwear for some crazy reason, so be sure to stick around for that. But yeah, my point is I don't really dress that great on a day-to-day basis. I have to say, you know, I really cared about that stuff in my 20s, and now I just want to be comfortable, especially because I live in a really small town. Like, who's judging me at Walmart? So yeah, I feel like I use my boy dolls to kind of like vicariously dress myself in a way, and it feels like a good investment, right? Like, I can put a doll in an outfit and leave him for 3 months if I want to, whereas if I do that here, I'm considered a dirty little rat ball that's unfit to be around other humans. So that was my plan all along for like months, as I was going to at least create a boy doll. I was trying to decide between doing a red-headed boy, likely with the Josefina head sculpt, because that is my favorite currently in the Create Your Own line. But one of the things I really love about the Create Your Own line is you're actually able to order head sculpts in skin tones that have never been available outside of the Create Your Own line. So for instance, a Addy doll with light skin, I'm trying to remember the exact numbers. I think it's 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, and 35. Basically, the higher the number goes, the more pigmented the vinyl is, meaning like deeper skin tones. So like, I don't think Addy has ever been made, certainly not in number 5 and number 10. And I don't know which skin tone the medium tone dolls are. So, you know, we've seen medium skin toned Addies before as early as the mid 90s, like 1995 when they launched the Girl of Today line. Number 11 has a medium skin tone and she has Addy's head mold. And the reason I'm looking over to the left is that's where mine is. I'm going to grab her and show her to you because I don't think I've actually shown her on the YouTube channel before. She's been seen on Patreon a couple of times, but she's a little bit freaky looking, but it's getting close to Halloween, so I feel like it's a little bit appropriate to show her to you. I'm going to grab her and just, show you because I don't think you've seen her before. So this is my number 11 first edition American Girl of Today doll, which, as you can tell, she has a little bit of a defect going on. So she has a really, 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 really bad silver eye, basically. And if you're kind of new to American Girl, the short story is silver eye is basically when the paint on the inside of the eye that pigments them to, show the color of their pupil, which is always black, and then their iris, which is whatever color their eyes are. That paint ends up separating from the plastic on the inside of the eye. So basically, it kind of gives a silver appearance because it's very like metallic and reflective, but it's basically just clear plastic that you're seeing because the paint is no longer adhered to the eye. So it gives them this really like crazy like Terminator look, which some people really like, and I have to say I do kind of like her looking like this, even though my plan is to either take her eyes out and repaint them or find her an eye swap. But through all of that, I still really do love this doll. I can tell she has an amazing head sculpt. Again, I really love the original Pleasant Company dolls because they have just like rounder, softer faces, which to me, that's my personal preference because I was a child of the 80s and 90s, and the only dolls I knew as far as Pleasant Company goes is the original first 5 dolls. Like Josefina, I didn't even know who she was until like several years ago when I started collecting American Girl dolls as an adult. So I only knew the dolls that were like Molly, Samantha, Kirsten, Felicity, and Addy. So those were the very, very early days of Pleasant Company where the dolls were made out of really soft vinyl and their faces tended to be a lot more round. And you can see here, like I can squeeze this number 11's head still because she was a 1995 release for the American Girl of Today line. And I absolutely love her. She still has that real Pleasant Company look, but I love the fact that we saw Addy's head sculpt in the medium skin tone for the first time. And ever since I got my hands on this particular one, I've really been in love with her. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I have had several number 11s in my hands before, but I was struggling to get a first edition from 1995. We've seen the later ones that have more of, certainly like more hard vinyl, which actually I really do like. It's not really an issue in terms of quality for me. That's one of the things that I've kind of talked about liking that American Girl like currently does is they have a bit of a harder vinyl, which I personally, at least from my background in toy design, I actually think that the vinyl that they use currently for their dolls is a lot higher quality feeling than the stuff that, some of us like maybe colloquially in the toy industry would call like a dog chew toy kind of material. So it's not to say that the early Pleasant Company dolls were low quality by any means. I think many people will argue that the original dolls were higher quality, but I do think that I certainly like when I got my first Pleasant Company doll as an adult, which at 36 years old was the first time I really got to fully unbox one and spend some time with it. I was actually surprised that their vinyl was soft. I actually thought for all of these years that they had hard vinyl. So, this is going to make a point for later, I promise, but I have had several number 11s in the past and have not really been like that jazzed on them, mainly because their heads are a lot skinnier than the original Pleasant Company doll. So when I finally got a first edition number 11, that's how I knew that like, oh yeah, I really do love Addy in the lighter skin tone. So I'm going to go put her back with the rest of her friends on her shelf. I have teased doing both an All My Dolls video and an American Girl Up to Date collection video. So I'm just trying to figure out if I want to do a separate video for American Girl of Today or if I just want to lump them all in with my All My Dolls video, because I think I have over 100 dolls now, which is so crazy to say out loud, but I think it's time for an All My Dolls video because it's getting to be the end of the year. And it's been highly requested. So we'll see if she ends up in either one of those videos. But just so you know, she is definitely like one of my top 5 favorite American Girls of today. So this will kind of prime you for what I'm about to talk about in terms of my thought process for what I did with this doll. So while the hurricane was happening, I was in our Discord chatting with everybody and everybody was super supportive and nice. But typically, like when I go in there, look, I'm a complainer. My nickname when I was a kid was Eeyore, but I try and try and be conscious not to go in and just complain and trauma dump on everybody, because that's what the videos are for on Patreon. But yeah, I was chatting in there and saying like, all right, let's put together a create your own doll, because American Girl was having a sale, which at this point of filming this video, this is like a little over 3 weeks after I initially ordered this doll. So I honestly, I think they've had like 3 sales since then. So I couldn't even tell you what the actual discount on this doll was. It was probably like a points multiplier or something. So I was like, all right, and the sale was ending that night. So I didn't have time to like try and come up with something that I liked and then maybe purchase it the next day. I am always crisis driven with these American Girl sales. Again, if you're in the Discord, you know that I will be up at 11:49 when the sale ends at midnight, panic adding to my cart, trying to figure out which create your own doll to buy. It's just, I don't know why, I'm just that way. But one of the twists of the story is that I have been basically this entire time planning to pretty much only order like boy gendered create your own dolls. But they did something a little bit new this season, and they actually added one of the Christmas dresses from the Janie and Jack collection as part of one of the options at like for your outfit that you could purchase your doll with. And you know me, like I am beguiled by a bargain. I love a discount. So I'm like, well, I think honestly, this is like such BS, because I feel like I had purchased this dress already, but I was still like in my head thinking like, oh, well, that dress like costs $40 if you buy it by itself. So by the time you like factor in all of the girl math, you take off the discount, you add up the points, you subtract $40 for the dress, and then another $25 for the accessory. This doll is like $20 by the time I'm done. That's not exactly true, obviously, but I was doing all this crazy math. I was like, I have to buy a create your own doll today and get it for as cheap as possible. So because of that stupid addition of adding the like basically the red cranberry dress that Janie and Jack made, that was like a dupe of Samantha's dress that I had already purchased and was on the way, I decided like, oh, maybe I'll just order a girl doll and maybe I'll make it Christmas themed, which is so stupid. This was like in October. So that's what I did. I was like, oh, let's make a Christmas themed girl doll. So I kind of felt like I wanted to order a light skin Addy doll next. And one of the main reasons is I thought that they were possibly going to discontinue Addy out of the create your own line, because they had one of the versions of the light skin marked as sold out for actually a few weeks, I believe. So you could only order, I think it was the number 10 skin tone with freckles. The version without freckles was like just marked sold out with no back order date. So I was like, oh no, they're taking her out of the create your own line, because they're probably going to add Claudie, because they've been using Claudie so much. Like if you think about it, like the collector doll this year, they used Claudie's head sculpt for the deep skin doll, and they also used Claudie for the Tiana Disney princess doll. So that was like my thinking. I was like, oh, I think they're going to replace Addy with Claudie potentially, which I don't know. That was just probably like just some random thought I had that like ran away with me. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, they're taking Addy out, and I really need to order a light-skinned Addy doll, which the original plan was to order a boy, but for some reason, I got all starry-eyed over getting a second Christmas dress for some reason. So I ended up basically putting together a doll in the Create Your Own generator that was, I think at first I did the number 5 skin tone, which is the lightest, that I have complained about a bunch of times actually, because that is what my mini-me is. And I might as well go ahead and grab him, who ironically enough is in his underwear as well. Hang on. All right, don't judge me. American Girl doesn't make that many boy clothes, so half the time I'm stripping them down to like dress my new boy doll. So yeah, this is what my mini-me looks like right now, which honestly is not far off of how you're gonna see me in a few minutes. So anyway, I have kind of complained about the skin tone, and particularly like the face paint on this doll, a few times, basically to the point where I think I want to do a new mini-me doll. And the main reason is I do not like the lip color on this doll. I think that they made it way too orange, and it can be kind of difficult to see in photos and on camera, but and I don't think it was always like this, but I think in recent years, as they've ordered new stock, I think they changed the Pantone color for the lips, and it just looks very unnatural to me. I really think that they should have made it a little bit more pinky. So I just don't think that his coloring looks that great. And so it's like insane to me that I was even thinking about ordering another doll in the skin tone in the first place. So I had put together a create your own doll that was basically the Addy head sculpt with freckles in the number 5 skin tone with green eyes and red curly hair, which I think will look awesome. But again, you have to remember, I was like basically, I don't know, you know, when something's like going on and you're trying to, like, say for instance, like you're scared of flying and you're in an airplane in really bad turbulence, but you're trying to keep it together because you don't want to be the person that's just like screaming, "We're gonna die!" So, but like you're trying to watch your movie, you're trying to have a snack, but really you're kind of sitting there just like buzzing a little bit. That's basically what was happening when I was like planning buying this doll. Again, I didn't have extra time to like think about it another day. The sale was ending that day, and I was like, this is a good distraction. So with the help of some fine folks in the Discord, I basically ended up adding that doll, actually with one change. A couple of my friends in there actually talked me out of the number 5 skin tone, thankfully, and talked me into number 10 because they had, I believe, ordered dolls in both of those tones and had Addy in number 10 and recommended her head sculpt in a number 10 for a light tone versus number 5, and I am so glad that's what I did. So that's the doll that I ordered, a number 10. Ultimately I changed the skin tone to number 10, so it was a number 10 Addy with green eyes, freckles, red hair, and the cranberry party dress. Plus I think I probably added the Christmas accessories to that as well, and that's what I ended up ordering. I'm not kidding, I think I put that order in at 11:59 p.m., like seconds before the sale ended, and it was definitely a panic buy. So I went to bed. Again, it was just like a crazy day. I went to bed and I woke up the next day a little bit like hungover from it, I feel like. But you have to keep in mind, I was still unable to contact my parents at the time. We had no idea what was going on with them. But I did kind of wake up with a little bit clearer of a head, being like, why did I do that? Like, that was so stupid. And but I was like, well, I got it for a good deal. The doll is going to be a good doll, even though it's not the one that I technically really wanted. I should have like taken a beat, stepped all the way back, and really looked at my overall collection goals, because that can be a problem when you're a collector, as you can see a really good deal on something or get really distracted by some other shiny object over here, and you buy that and you're like, oh, actually, I really would way rather have spent that money on this thing over here. I just got really distracted by this thing over here, which is kind of what happened. The doll like that I was going to get was amazing, I think, and I ultimately still do want to get her, but I was like, but I didn't get my Addy boy. That's what I really wanted, and what if they discontinue the Addy head sculpt and I can't get an Addy boy? So I was a little bit bummed about it, and I ended up I swear, like, again, I'm having trouble remembering the timeline because it's been like over almost a month at this point now. So I kind of feel like that I actually waited an additional day. I was going to keep the doll. I wasn't going to cancel the order, but American Girl ended up doing yet another sale. I want to say like 2 days later. It was literally like after I placed the order, it was like leapfrogged a day, and then there was another sale on. So I was like, or no, actually, I know what it was. I got a coupon in my email that was actually a better discount than what I got ordering the original, like basically Christmas themed doll that I was planning to name probably Noel, because I'm so live, laugh, love cheesy like that. So yeah, I got this discount in the mail. I was like, wow, this would have been better to have ordered the Create Your Own doll. So I went ahead and just called American Girl and said, you know, let's just see if we can cancel and place the order again. And I will say, when I called, they were like, I'm probably not going to be able to cancel your order. We generally only have, I want to say 24 hours is what she told me. You'll basically, if you place a Create Your Own doll order and you have buyer's remorse, you need to call immediately to cancel the order. But I think because I ordered on a weekend and then called on, I want to say it was a Monday that I called to cancel, I think it was still like within 24 business or like one business day, because like, you know, I'm sure Saturday and Sunday don't count. So that's probably what ultimately allowed me to do this a couple of days later. But I called, sure enough, they let me cancel my order for the Christmas doll that I may or may not order later. I would like to, but I was able to cancel my order and place the order for the doll that I really wanted. Now, that actually did kind of help me get to a better doll result in the end, because, again, the conversations that we kind of had about what might be the best skin tone for a light-skinned Addy doll came up in the middle of all of that. So I do think that I ended up with a way better doll this time because I think had I ordered this boy Addy doll with a number 5 skin tone, I would have been very disappointed. So yeah, spoiler alert, I ended up ordering a completely different doll and went basically back to my original plan. I really wanted to get a boy Addy doll with a high top curly is what I think the haircut is called, which is the curly hair that they've only ever done that specific wig on Truly Me number 113, which is the Sonali boy doll with the closed mouth, and they have that I think in dark brown. And then on the Create Your Own, in the Create Your Own line, they have, I think, only 4 options for it. It's a little bit more limited than the other options. So you can't get it in like red, for instance, which would be amazing. But you can get it, I believe, in blonde, light brown, dark brown, and black, if I remember correctly. So I knew I wanted to get it in blonde because I felt like it was probably, again, the least likely one that American Girl would probably use on a Truly Me doll in the future. And I can't remember if I said it before, but that's one of my goals with creating a Create Your Own doll. And I think it is for most adult collectors that aren't making mini me dolls, is you really want to kind of try and make a doll that you think will never get made by American Girl in the Truly Me line in the future, because you know, sure enough, you make a really cool doll like this one right here. Hang on. Like this gorgeous 128 right here, which is one of my new favorite dolls. I think this is like top 5 dolls in their current line for me, I think. But you can create a doll fairly similar to this in the Create Your Own line, just in terms of features. You know, we've got like, does she have green eyes? I think her eyes are green. We've got a wig that's very similar to something you can order. You can get the freckles. The eyebrows are really kind of like the main feature that you can't get in the Create Your Own line. She has those nice bushy eyebrows. This is a gorgeous doll, but you can create something very similar to this in the Create Your Own line, and it's such a bummer when like a year or 2 later that same exact doll gets released in the Truly Me line and you could have gotten her for half the price. And that's the thing, when you're paying, if you're paying full retail, especially, like the Create Your Own dolls are $235 now. They were, I think, originally $200, and then over the years they've gone up quite significantly. Again, I think just because the extra labor and time it takes to make them. But yeah, to purchase a Create Your Own doll versus a Truly Me doll currently is about double. Actually, I think it's a little more than double a Truly Me doll. So you really want to get your money's worth and know you're getting something that's truly unique that you're not going to be able to purchase for half price, you know, in a few years. So that's always my goal when designing a Create Your Own doll, is to try and make something that I don't think American Girl will make. Okay, let's put her back. And look, it's not outside the realm of possibility that they will make a light-skinned Addy head sculpt doll, or a light-skinned Sonali head sculpt doll, or a deep-skinned classic head sculpt dolls. So those are all ones that I am trying to get in my collection. I will probably try and make boy dolls out of those, but I have seen some really, really, really beautiful Create Your Own dolls that are made with like light skin Sonali, light skin Addy, and deep skin classic, which are ones that have never been made by American Girl as part of their main line. So that's really where my goals are you know, as far as my Create Your Own collection, is really trying to get combinations that haven't existed outside the Create Your Own line. So that's where this doll comes in. And really the only trouble I was having in terms of decision making on the like which features to do, I knew I wanted light skin, and after seeing examples of the lightest versus the second lightest, I knew that I wanted the second lightest. Again, it's number 10 skin tone, and it's pretty much the same skin tone that the original Pleasant Company dolls had. So like Molly, Samantha, Kirsten, and Felicity all had that skin tone. So I felt like I couldn't go wrong with that. And again, I knew I wanted like the blonde hair with him because I just felt like it would be that much more unique, because you can already get a really dark version of this wig. So I wanted like the super light version of it. So I was pretty set. It was just the eye color. I was trying to decide between the brown eyes, green eyes, or gray eyes. I didn't really want blue eyes, although I did consider it, but for some reason I don't always love blue eyes on dolls, which is crazy because I actually have blue eyes, but I ended up going with the green. For the most part, I generally don't like the what we call decal eyes, the ones that have all the different colors in them and they're a lot more flat. I like the pinwheel eyes that are like, they just have a lot more dimension, and I think they look more expensive. So that's why I tend to opt for the pinwheel eyes. So I really didn't want to consider getting decal eyes, at least for this one. I probably will start doing that as time goes on and I get more create your own dolls. I probably will experiment with doing some decal eyes just for something different. But yeah, I feel like this was a pretty obvious doll to get. So I had made my final decision. I placed the order for a create your own doll again, and then we wait. So and basically lately the shipping I think has been pretty good. Now it's probably going to slow down quite a bit in the coming weeks because I do think that these are popular Christmas presents. So around Christmas time, I think they like to say like allow 6 weeks for delivery on these dolls. But typically, at least this year, I've been ordering create your own dolls since May of this year, and they have all consistently taken 3 weeks to arrive from the date of purchase. So typically what happens is you place the order, and then in about a week you get a shipping, like after a week you get a shipping notice, and then after another week then you see the doll is actually moving in the mail, and then after the 3rd week your doll arrives to you. And that's about what happened. Now that said, there was a little bit of a fiasco with FedEx on this. They actually lost the package for a few days, so I was like, oh great, how am I going to explain this? And again, without getting into all the details, I feel like lost package is like very boring territory for a YouTube channel, but I had to get on the phone with American Girl for a couple of days. I actually had to talk to the people at the Create Your Own Center to like try and figure out what was going on with this, and they were so incredibly lovely to deal with, incredibly understanding and nice. Again, just a reminder that American Girl really, I think, is the best mainstream doll brand on the planet. I can never say enough good things about them, especially because I tried to order the Bratz dolls recently. So MGA is not exactly on my nice list right now. So yeah, just after that whole Bratz fiasco, spoiler alert, I didn't get either of the Bratz dolls that I really want. I wanted Katie and Regina both so badly. I talked about it more on Patreon, so I won't go into it deeply here, but I was really, really bummed out about that. But it really kind of helped highlight to me how much American Girl, I think, really tries to do right by their customers. I know we have complaints about things. I've complained about a couple of things that I feel like that they could do better. But all in all, I think that that American Girl is run by a company, or run by people that probably grew up with the brand, love the brand, and want to do right by it. And we all can have differing opinions on how, about certain decisions that are made about things. And I can't claim to know absolutely everything. But all in all, I have just had like such stellar, great customer service experiences with them. And yeah, I just can't name another doll brand on this planet that I love more than American Girl. So yeah, they were really great. They worked with me, but ultimately the package did end up arriving. It was a few days late, but it did get here and everything was in good shape. So all is good. And the doll, again, is finally here. Now, I'm talking to you now a day later from actually opening him because I just needed to see what he looked like, because I have seen a lot of the wig that I ordered not look great on other people's dolls. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not that it doesn't look great. It's just that it doesn't look like it looks in the generator. So I have, obviously, because I'm so into the Create Your Own dolls, I have looked at thousands of pictures of other people's dolls for inspiration, which is getting harder, by the way. If you like researching Create Your Own dolls and you have good resources, let me know in the comments. I used to use Instagram all the time, but they changed the way their hashtags work, and I can't just look at all the new posts of like that people make of their Create Your Own dolls, and I'm having trouble following hashtags and stuff. So can someone please let me know the best way to look at people's Create Your Own dolls and like see new posts and stuff? I'm kind of at a loss right now. But anyway, a lot of the pictures I had seen recently of this wig type, the hair had been really kind of like swooshed back, so it wasn't really curly in the front, and it looks like a lot of the curls have been loosened in it. And I was basically assuming that was going to happen with this doll because I had not had really great luck with the Create Your Own wigs the last time I ordered them, because if you remember my mini-me, I've had to really try and work to get his hair to lay flat, and it's still not. Now, I haven't added heat to it. That will probably do the trick, but if you actually let his hair do what it wants to do, he has the Bellagio fountain on top of his head, which honestly I think is valid for a mini-me. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm starting to wonder if these wigs aren't getting heat set correctly in the factory. So that's why some of these curly wigs, at least the high top curly ones, are arriving almost looking like they've been brushed out, like the curls have like loosened in them. So that's kind of what I was planning on happening. So I actually went ahead and opened him the second he arrived, because I had a feeling that I was going to be filming this video in multiple parts, because I thought we were actually going to have to do a full on rehab with this doll. So that's why I wanted to like film my reaction opening him. But listen, I had been out running errands all day, and I had basically been home, and yeah, like I don't look the best in the reaction video, so I'm going to try and cut it up as much as possible. So I'm only like disgusting looking on the internet for just a few seconds, but I'm going to go ahead and play you my actual real-time reaction, and hopefully when I go back to watch the footage it's not as cringy as I remember. But I really wanted you to see exactly what my reaction was to all this, because again, I have been planning to do like a full rehab on this brand new doll. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut to me yesterday evening, like literally right before I was supposed to take a shower and kind of like wind down and have a chill evening, but I decided to open a doll instead. So here we are, we're gonna teleport back into the past, and we're gonna look at me seeing this doll for the first time. All right, I'm filming this completely out of order and obviously not my normal getup. We won't exactly talk about why, but I'll let you guess what I'm wearing from the waist down. Actually, please don't. So yeah, I just wanted to film my reaction of this doll completely out of order from the rest of the video, because he literally just arrived like a few minutes ago, and I'm sure I've told you the story leading up to all of this. So I just want to go ahead and get my actual initial reaction to him caught on camera, because I feel like we always like to see, you know, especially if there's like an unknown with the doll, it's like, okay, let's see the real reaction on camera. So I actually want to see what he looks like on camera. So I'm going to open him, and again, this is a real reaction. I have not seen him yet, but as I've mentioned, I'm really kind of nervous about what his, like the evenness of his eyes, and particularly what his hair is going to look like, especially because last time I got a CYO doll, it had really messed up hair, and I've seen some kind of not so amazing looking hair on on some of these CYOs that have this wig. So I'm dying to look at him, and then that way I can spend some time tonight playing with him and kind of coming up with a game plan if his hair isn't perfect. But yeah, again, I have to see him today so that I can actually come up with a plan and think about what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'll just quit rambling, because I've been filming for almost 2 hours today already. It's a miracle I even have a voice. I think that's only thanks to having a milkshake the size of my head before filming this. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, let's go ahead and get him out of the box finally. I did, just in case you're wondering, people are always like trying to figure out what to put on the box as far as like what's a good generic thing to put on there in case you decide you want to sell or create your own doll in the future, so it doesn't just say like happy birthday Kelsey Grammer or whoever. So yeah, I just do designed by American Girl, and I feel like that's pretty generic. So, you know, if I decide to sell this doll later, I shouldn't have an issue of having an overly personal box. All right, so for real this time, let's open this beautiful, beautiful box with this ribbon. Makes this whole thing so much more special. I think it harkens back to the original Pleasant Company days with, you know, like a burgundy box and a little bit of a satin ribbon. So all right, I'm gonna see the doll first today, not you, because again, I've been dying to see this for 3 weeks. So without further ado, I'm a little bit nervous, and yeah, might as well go ahead and look now. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I mean, they never look like you think they're gonna look, but I have to say the top of his hair, from what I can see, actually looks pretty good. So he looks super girly. So yeah, obviously I did end up getting one of the outfits that I don't already have, because I didn't want 1,000 of the boy outfits, because I don't particularly like it that much, and I really like this hoodie. So I put him in a girl outfit, but so he does look a little bit more feminine than I planned for him. But just to see the top of his head, I think that the wig looks very nicely curled. Like, they tend to like look a little bit more brushed out and textured based on the photos that I have seen from other people that have gotten this wig. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take him out again. Off the bat, I'm really, really glad I went with the number 10 skin tone instead of 5. I've really not enjoyed the number 5 skin tone on my mini-me that I have, and I think I'm gonna redo him with a number 10 skin tone because I'm that girl. So yeah, let me These are so easy to take out. I love these boxes so much. I just want to get him out of here really quick. Again, I know we're gonna see him at probably tomorrow if I have time. I'm gonna film, and we'll actually look at him more up close once I've had time to like zhuzh him. But like I said, I've just been dying to take him out of the box, and so here I am at like 4:30, like filming a video. So let's see if we can get a good neck pop on this one. Put it down by the mic. Ooh, that was a good one. So that, I always feel like that means it's going to be a good doll when you get a good neck pop. So he is, I think I'm really going to love him. So let me just kind of get this stuff out of the way. And I guess we might as well go ahead and quickly take his hairnet off. I really, really like this combination of skin tone and hair color. So I do think that the blonde looks really good with the number 10 skin tone. So much better than the number 5 with the platinum. We'll do it later. Tomorrow, so I'll show you in a later clip. But yeah, because I'm going to take his hairnet off today and kind of mess with his hair a little bit tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take the hairnet off. So if you aren't paying attention, maybe now's the time to look up at the screen so we can see the hair reveal, which has been the thing that I've been dying most to figure out if I got a good one or not. But oh my gosh, look how cute he looks on camera. I am really, really excited. So here comes the hairnet. Okay, I think there might be 2 hairnets or something going on here. Okay, he's out. I'll probably style it a little bit, but I was originally thinking I was going to have to like bust out the steamer and curlers and stuff to kind of get it to look like it does in the pictures. But yeah, I got to say, I don't know that this is going to need a whole lot of work. Again, I want to kind of play with it off camera because I'll get really like too focused on this and like trying to film at the same time and end up messing his hair up. But I will say the first right off the bat, he is a little bit balding in the back, which I can deal with. I'm not going to send him back over that because I display my dolls. I don't play with them or take like photography or anything from behind. So it's not worth requesting another doll. But I will say he is a little bit bare in the back. But that's really my only complaint with the wig. But I'm really, really, really excited about this. This is my first light-skinned Addy head sculpt that I've seen in person. And I really like this combo. I have to say, if you're not sure which doll which combo to get, like as far as like skin tone versus hair color, if you're wanting to get a light-skinned blonde doll, I definitely say go with the darker blonde and the number 10 skin tone, which is the second to lightest. I think this looks absolutely smashing. So the light here is terrible. I look awful. I swore I would never film in a shirt that's like in an undershirt that's this color ever again, but here we are. But I just wanted to give you my initial reaction, which is, oh my God, I absolutely love him. And I will probably jump back in the next clip after having some time to kind of mess around with him and maybe put him in a different outfit. And yeah, I'll see you in a second, which is technically tomorrow, but yeah, see you soon. So how cool is that? The wig actually ended up being pretty good, and I feel like somehow, somewhere I earned some good karma, so I got a good wig. I have realized I've been like half off the screen today filming this video, but honestly, like, do you really need to see like that much of the top of my head? Here, we'll split the difference. All right, so anyway, now that you've already seen this doll, I, for some reason, just wanted to do a second unboxing because I did take some time with him yesterday to kind of adjust his hair. You know, these curly wigs just take a little bit of extra care because they've kind of been matted down in a hairnet and they can get a little bit flatter than most people like them. So I did spend some time with him last night just trying to get the curls like exactly where I wanted them. And I also redressed him because obviously I got what was likely intended to be an outfit for a girl doll. So I really wanted to kind of get him changed because I felt like he looked very feminine when I like opened the box, like more feminine than I wanted. But yeah, so this was the actual outfit that he came in, which, you know, honestly, like, I do think this is a little bit cheaper than I was expecting. This was my favorite. Maybe it still is. I don't know. Like, aesthetically, I really do love the tie-dye, and I love a hoodie. I love patches. I love we have a reference to the original launch year of Pleasant Company, like 86 on the side. But I will say this is more t-shirt material than it is like a sweatshirt material. So that was a little bit disappointing because this is just one piece. You know, we didn't get pants and like, you know, we got some nice boots. But honestly, I don't even really see my dolls wearing these. They're a little bit uggish, but Yeah, this outfit I think was a tiny bit of a letdown just in terms of quality and number of pieces, but I'm glad I have it. I probably will use this at some point, so I'm just gonna try and collect all the create your own outfits. But anyway, so I did need to get him out of it because it just wasn't suiting him, and it was definitely like feminizing him quite a bit. So yeah, anyway, let's do a second unboxing because I'm crazy and wanted to actually do like a second unveiling with him basically coming out as a boy. So yeah, here we are. Like, how cute does he look on camera? I really do think that this was a great purchase. Now I have one little criticism. I'm gonna go ahead and take him out of the box. Let's see if we can get this to pop again. Hang on. Nope, not even a little bit. But yeah, let's get him out of here and get this box out of the way. Actually, I'll try not to forget to open the accessories today. This time I always forget the accessories. But let me get this out of the way. So now that his light is not blocked, we can actually get a better look at him, especially because we actually have a nice sunny day where we can see what he properly looks like. Now, I will say I have one criticism, and it's a nitpick. And again, this is really more of an overall issue that, and not even an issue, it's not an issue, but I always say that I love a round face on American Girl, and I do think that his head is a little bit narrow for my preference. I wish that it was like, you know, and I can tell that I wished it was rounder because one thing I keep doing is like I keep like negotiating the idea of heating his head up and squishing it a little bit and letting it like cool off because that will make his head rounder. But I don't want to like ruin his mintiness. I don't want to take his head off. So if I do it, I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of system to like protect both his eyes and his hair from the heat and then heat him up and squish him a little bit. I think I might end up doing it, but overall, is he not the cutest thing you've ever seen? Let me go grab my number 11 just for a quick comparison on like the skin tones and the head sculpt so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in my opinion, this doll right here, which she is medium skin tone. So like these aren't supposed to be like matching tones. This is more of a medium tone doll, which I did debate getting, but I'm starting with the lightest because it's the most extreme and I'm an extreme person, I guess. So you can see, I mean, I know, again, she has silver eye, but you can see, like, the big differences in, like, the shape of their head. Like, see how round her head looks compared to his? His is a little on the skinny side, but again, it's not even to say that it's uglier. It's just what I prefer. Again, I feel like I have to say that all the time because, you know, when we start talking about dolls, sometimes it can come across as talking about people, and they are different conversations, but you know, these things can be interpreted as like saying like, oh, well, if somebody has a certain type of hair, then that means that that's bad. But that's not really what I mean. I'm basically just basing it off of what I see in product photos and what I see as like fitting in and looking at home in my own personal collection. But this was just to show you a comparison of like this, basically the shape difference in Addy's head. Now, I know a lot of people have said that, you know, they never changed Addy over the years because we always, I think when we talk about head sculpts and like their changes that they've made, we tend to talk about the quote unquote bad ones, but the ones that are like the least popular in terms of changes. So we're talking the classic head sculpt and the Sonali head sculpt. Those have undergone major changes, and a lot of people do not like the current versions of them. They prefer the older versions. We won't get into that in this video, but I think a lot of people forget that Addy has actually undergone probably a similar amount of changes. They just never messed her up. You know, again, my catchphrase, I've never seen an ugly Addy, and that's really true. Like, you can see how much, at least in my opinion anyway, I think these head sculpts look almost like completely different characters. In my opinion, like, this looks more like Addy's head to me, and this looks like, I don't like Addy's child. Again, it looks a little bit more youthful, or maybe like a younger version of Addy, let's say. But yeah, they don't, to me, look exactly like the same head sculpt, and I think that's why I'm a little bit like, I just want this to be a little bit rounder. But again, it's personal preference. I know that American Girl has way more like money and research behind their decisions than I do. So again, we're just talking personal preference, but that just kind of shows you like how I'm primed to want a wider head than this, especially because his hair is so tall, which I absolutely love. I love like how high and curly it is. That's part of the appeal of it for me. So, but it does really, I think, accentuate how narrow the Addy head sculpt is, at least currently. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put number 11 back so we can focus on this new boy right here, and I'll be right back. So that was my one and only really nitpick as far as this doll is concerned, and I'm sitting here looking at him in my monitor, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this doll is so freaking cute. How dare I complain about him? So yeah, I ended up going with the only version of the blonde hair that they have. I ended up going with green eyes, the number 10 skin tone, which I guess now that we're actually looking at him on camera and talking about the skin tone, his skin really does look quite light to me still, because this was sort of like the default Caucasian color for years. So this really doesn't look like a medium tone doll to me. Again, especially because we just looked at a number 11 who's about to fall. Hang on. I set her back down crooked. I didn't realize she was basically like at a 45-degree angle, leaned on another doll, and she was about to fall on the ground, and I had a mini panic attack. Okay, so where was I? So yeah, I do think that this still looks like a light skin tone doll, and I will have to say I definitely recommend number 10 skin tone over number 5 as a general rule. Again, order what you want, but I really do feel like the lips on the number 5 is really the main reason I don't like them. They're way too orange. But anyway, another thing that I did last night after spending some time with him is I really tried to work on like really sectioning out each little curl, and honestly, I'm going to try not to touch it because I got it how I like it. And these haircuts, honestly, like, I have to say, like, this is a little bit Blanche Devereaux, if I'm completely honest. Like, I feel like every doll that I get with this haircut is basically gonna have like a really bad fake Southern accent. But you cannot tell me that this does not look like Rue McClanahan's hair in the 80s. But honestly, I feel like that's what a lot of like teenage boys have their hair like. I do feel like, you know, I'm not really that in tune with what like is popular with teenage boys, but especially because I wasn't even that in tune with what was popular with teenage boys when I was a teenage boy. But yeah, I do feel like I see a lot of that. I think some people have nicknamed it like the broccoli haircut, where it's like short on the sides and like really curly on the top. And so I do think it is like reminiscent of what is popular right now, which I don't really care that much about, honestly. I am really happy with it. So one thing that I did do as I was separating each of the individual curls is I think he has about 3 or 4 bobby pins in his hair. So what this wig does tend to try and do is basically project outward and almost create like a hat, like a bill kind of look. So what it can do is really make the wig look like a wig, like it's not correctly attached to his head. So that was one of the things I really worked with on his wig, was to try and keep it from projecting too far outward. And basically the only way to do that was to really try and like basically tighten the curls as best as I could with my fingers, and then put a bobby pin around the base of it and push it like back into his head. So like if you like stick your fingers down into the top of his head, you can feel the ends of the bobby pins. But because his hair is curly, in person at least, I'm looking for them and I can't see them. I would assume you can't really see them on camera. But that was a really big help in me for like styling this doll in a way that I felt like made him look a little bit more like the pictures you see in the generator, and a little bit more like number 113's hair. And admittedly, I actually pulled up the photos of number 113 because I think his hair looks so good in the product photos. I really wanted to try and get this as close as I could to that photo, and I think I did a pretty good job, honestly. But I will say this wig can be a little bit tricky because I think sometimes you'll order it and it will be brushed out and the curls will not be tight like they used to be, which honestly I do think actually looks pretty good. I want it to look like the product photo. That's really why I didn't want mine to look like that. But I had all the plans in the world of like basically getting one of these dolls and seeing that his hair was basically straight and like just brushed up like Beavis and Butthead. But I do think that I got a really, really great wig. So yeah, I had like a whole rehab process planned for this video, which I don't even have to do now, because my plan was to basically steam his hair to basically at least the top part, flatten it all the way, and then get like bubble tea straws, cut them up, roll his hair in as they were basically rollers, roll his hair around the chopped up bubble tea straws, pin them with a bobby pin, and then steam them, which is a very common method for restoring Barbie hair, although typically people will dunk her hair in boiling water. But yeah, that was my plan, but we don't have to do it because I have to say I got a pretty fabulous high top curly wig on this one. I will say one of the things I like to do, in general is add eyewear to my dolls because I just think it makes them cuter and it kind of helps give some more dimension to their faces, especially with this doll here who I wish his head was a little bit wider. We'll see if I try and make an attempt to fix that later, but I do think giving him some glasses gives him a cuter look and it kind of helps, in my opinion, makes his head look just a little bit wider. You see what I'm talking about? It sort of looks like his head projects this way a little bit more because of like the, I don't know what you call that part of the glasses, but the part that like goes back and sticks on his ear, that kind of makes his head look a little bit wider. So I really do think the glasses look really cute on him. So I probably will keep them on him for at least a good while. One of the things I tend to do is basically create meat outfits for most of my like truly me dolls. And that's basically done by just basically making an amalgamation of all the different stuff that I have from American Girl. Because I like to do it with official like American Girl tagged merchandise. And so I always like to challenge myself to create like official meat outfits for them with official clothes. And so you can see that's kind of what I've done here because I've got the boots from Nikki Hoffman's red vinyl jumper outfit. I've got the pants from one of the versions of the Truly Me boys meat outfit. This one came off at number 77. I've got the Gap hoodie. And unfortunately, he does have like the pink underwear. I wish I had the option of getting the gray boxer briefs like my mini me has. But yeah, I have the Gap hoodie. And then these glasses I get asked about all the time. Just so you know, you can swap the lenses out on American Girl glasses as long as they're the same, like the same exact shape. So like, see, these glasses I have on Courtney here, I'm so going to regret taking those off of her probably. But these, oh yeah, I have to open accessories, but I actually think this is more interesting. So these can actually, like, you can interchange the lenses on them. So all you do is just basically take your thumb and you just push backwards on the lens, like, so they go, like, push on the front and they'll just, like, they'll pop out like this. And then you can pop a clear lens in instead. So that's why I tend to just try and get glasses that are this shape because it's my favorite shape that they make, and I can make them sunglasses or eyeglasses that way. So I think that's pretty cool. So I guess that was my reminder to actually open up the accessories. I am going to leave his glasses off for now because for whatever reason on screen I think he actually looks a little bit better with, what side do you want to go on here? Let's cover up bad Molly. So yeah, we'll just leave him so you can like take a look at him while I'm like rambling about the accessories that probably 3 of you care about. Let's see. Do you want to look at the camera? Here, you can watch what I'm doing. Oh, so cute. This really is a great doll. I really do recommend it. I do think that this is a doll that works for any gender as well. If you wanted to create a girl doll with these same features, I really think it feminizes well. And certainly if you wanted to create like a gender fluid doll, totally something you could do as well. Because I don't know, I just think that these features work great for that. Now that said, you can really do that with any combination at the end of the day. So it's not to say you can't pick whatever features you want to do, like for instance, a gender fluid doll or a boy that might traditionally have been seen as a girl doll. All of that stuff is fine. So I don't know, when like you can probably tell, like when I opened the doll originally, I was like, oh, this looks more like a girl doll than I imagined. So, you know, with a little bit of styling and imagination, your doll can be whomever you want them to be. So let's go ahead and open the accessories because I always forget. And if I keep talking any longer, I'm going to forget. So I ended up going with, well, I would tell you if I could remember the name. Is it Relax to the Max, or I don't think it's City Style. Whatever this one is. So this main reason I got this was to get this backpack. This is so like Vans Y2K. I feel like this checkerboard print. Now I know it's popular now with Gen Z, like with interior design and fashion and stuff, but when I think of this pattern, I think of shoes in the early 2000s. Remember those slip-on Vans? So I had to get this backpack, which I think honestly any of my dolls are probably at any point could have this backpack on. Again, I really love all the extra accessories that you can put on an American Girl doll. It really just kind of gives the overall, I shouldn't say illusion because it's not an illusion. It really just makes them look higher quality and more layered. So I just think, you know, like adding that backpack is an extra detail of dimension that makes your doll look that much nicer. And even from the front, I like seeing the little black straps. It actually complements his glasses. So there, now his glasses are back on, even though I said I wasn't going to do that. These glasses are so Rick Moranis, I feel like, or like Buddy Holly or Rivers Cuomo. But yeah. I can't get over it. He's so freaking cute. I'm really glad I canceled my original order to get him because, yeah, I just think he is like one of the coolest dolls in my collection now. He is really unique looking. And again, I really recommend this combo if you want to be like me and have a cool doll. So I did end up getting another set of these petal pink eyeglasses. I have one pair currently and I'm always passing them around to different dolls. Summer McKinney looks great in these if you want an extra set of glasses for her. I actually really don't like Summer's glasses that came with her, like the ones that they picked for her character. They're just like, I don't know. I was going to say they're a little bit little kiddish, but it's really not that. I don't know. It's really mainly the shape. I actually like the clear rainbow. Let me grab her. Hang on. I have 7 minutes left on my card, so we're probably going to have to take a quick break. But really quickly, here is Summer in her Waggy Pup Tails outfit and her glasses that actually came with her. But I really like these petal pink ones. Let's look at them on her. See how great these look on Summer? I honestly thought that they were going to make these her glasses. I literally thought they were just going to pluck these out of the Create Your Own line and make these her glasses that came with her as default. And I'm actually honestly kind of sad that they didn't. I personally think that these look better. I mean, you can argue with me if you want, but this shape I think complements her face better. They are a little bit big, but at least on camera, but I think in person these look really great, and that's the reason I actually got these as part of this Create Your Own set, because they're free. They come with the doll, and they don't cost any extra, but I ended up throwing these in because I wanted a pair that were basically permanently for Summer, so congratulations, Summer, on your new pair of glasses. I still stand by this is an amazing, really cute doll, and I think she is way, way, way underrated by adult collectors. Okay, back on the shelf you go. All right, I'm going to challenge myself to get through the rest of these accessories in 5 minutes before my camera runs out of space, especially because a lot of these, honestly, they kind of suck. Let's be real. Now, one I think that is really cool is this little handheld gaming device. You know, I have always been into video games, you know, barring a quick break in my teen years, you know, when you're just growing up and figuring out what you like. But I loved video games when I was a child, and I love them now as an adult. So definitely my dolls needed this, you know, nondescript little handheld. Honestly, this is probably meant to be sort of reminiscent of a Nintendo Switch, but definitely not a whole lot else other than like the size of it that references it. But I think it might be fun to maybe try and take it apart and see if I can actually put like a screenshot of like Super Mario or something on the screen. I think that would be really cool. Sidebar, I think I've shown this already on the channel, but I did end up finding some really cool like 1/3 scale Nintendos. They're basically Hallmark Christmas ornaments. So this is one of my favorite things in my doll collection right now. I have this, the Super Nintendo, and the Sega Genesis. All right, I'm going to try not to talk a million miles a minute. If I run out of space, we'll just continue after a break. But what else do we get? Concert Series World Tour. So we have concert tickets for some reason. I don't know. These dolls are supposed to be like 8 years old. Like, what 8-year-old is going to a concert? I guess maybe I was into like really heavy like alternative music, and to be fair, I went and saw Korn when I was 13 years old, basically with a group of other teenagers, which, like, where were my parents? I almost died in a mosh pit at 13 years old, if you want to know the truth. But yeah, I was going to like heavy metal shows, punk rock shows, all of that stuff when I was an early teen. So I don't know why I'm sitting here saying like, why are they letting an 8-year-old go to a Taylor Swift concert? Please. Like, I almost died in the 90s. What else do we have here? We have Girl Power Letter. Okay, speaking of, this is great. He came with a Riot Girl pin. Now, I might start ordering these just so I can have more of these pins. I didn't see this in the set before. It says, Girl Power, Let It Rock. You know, hello. Okay, this is going on Nikki Hoffman. I mean, what doll and American Girl deserves this more than Nikki? But hell yeah, we love Riot Girl music. Because yeah, this, by the way, this isn't like Spice Girls Girl Power. This is like full on. I mean, honestly, this is more of like a like classic hard rock kind of aesthetic. But we're going to say Riot Girl just because that's really what I want it to be. Because I just know Nikki Hoffman would have been a fan of Babes in Toyland and liked Hole, but was like a little bit embarrassed because they were so mainstream. All right, we have this random headband, which I'm not putting on this doll because it's going to completely screw his hair up. But it did come with this. I mean, honestly, this is such a nothing. At this point, I do feel like, could they have just gotten rid of, like, the concert tickets, honestly, I don't particularly care for these, but, like, get rid of, like, the bulk and just give us something, like, a little bit higher quality. Like, this is so nothing. This is not going to go on a doll, I guarantee. What else do we have here? We've got I think this is a bracelet. I don't particularly love this color. This is not my favorite shade of purple. Somebody might end up with that on their wrist, but honestly, again, just another like cheapy little thing that can add a little bit of detail, I guess, but I would rather have combined these two into something like, and just gotten one thing that was a little bit nicer than both of these cheap little things. Oh, we have something here that I might actually like. I couldn't see this in the product photos really well, but I think this is a choker. American Girl, this is, honestly, this is a little bit adult. I mean, whatever. I know that these things like trickle down to kids eventually, but, oh no, this is a bracelet. I thought this was like a dog collar for the doll. So yeah, my bad. This is a bracelet that I actually think is quite cute, and I will definitely be using that on a doll. It's basically like this silver, I don't know, like vinyl material with Velcro on it, but this is an actual metal heart charm on it. This is very, very cute. I really, really like this, and this is definitely going to be always on a random doll, like one way or another in my collection. So this is great. I love this. This actually feels like pretty good quality. And then the last thing here before my battery runs out, if I have time, is this like rainbow slushy drink, which I don't particularly care for these. I think these look kind of dorky, but I guess kids like them. But yeah, I guess maybe if I put like one of the old like slushy logos on them, like you remember the dog with the like that was like licking his lips, the little white dog, where you go in a gas station and get like a blue raspberry slushy. If I put that on here, then I probably would be obsessed with this. But I always have a hard time getting them to hold these in any significant way. I feel like the scale is super weird. So yeah, these basically just end up going back in the box. I probably should sell them if people are interested in them, but yeah, all in all, an okay accessory pack. I think the backpack is great. I really like it. It's very like throwback Y2K. Of course, we love the Girl Power Riot Girl pin. Definitely love the Not a Dog collar bracelet. And honestly, I think I might actually try and customize this like to be like, I kind of want to paint it a different color, maybe see if I can change like the screen on here and maybe customize this a little bit, but this is still a really great accessory. So I don't know, I may or may not order this accessory pack again. We'll see. I am happy with the pieces in here that I like, so I'm definitely glad I picked it. But yeah, I think that's it for the accessory pack. So let me take a break and clear some space on my phone, and we'll be back with some final thoughts, as if I'm Jerry Springer. All right, I'll be honest. This was probably the make or break doll in terms of me collecting the Create Your Own line, because I have to say, you can go back and watch my mini-me unboxing. You can kind of see the like push and pull with like, I really like the idea of this doll, but I think you can really kind of tell that like there were some issues with it in terms of the hair and the skin color and stuff. And those issues never really kind of grew on me. I was really sort of like, at the end of the day, like over the last several weeks especially, I've just been like, I don't reach for this doll. I don't really connect with it. Even if it like maybe might have the features that are the closest to what I was, what my features were when I was that age. I'm not vibing with the doll that much. I might even sell him. I'm not sure. And I spent a lot of money on that doll. I can't even remember if I got him on sale or not, but it's, like any American Girl doll, even on sale, is really expensive. And, there's some issues with the Create Your Own line as well, because you can't really get a good look at what the doll is going to look like when they arrive. Like you could see when my reaction when I opened this one today, I thought I knew what I was gonna get and what I was expecting, and it was just like the doll didn't look like what I was expecting. And I think the biggest problem with that is their generator is not very good, I have to say. Like, again, this is somebody that has a history in like product photography and graphic design and product design. I am kind of surprised at how bad their Create Your Own generator is, if it's generating as much money as I think it is, based on, what you hear about it being one of the most popular or profitable lines that they make. So it's kind of crazy to me that they have not taken the time to re-photograph all the options, to like show new freckle patterns, and really like, look, you would, I think if you're watching this video and you've gotten this far, you would agree that going and looking at what those dolls look like on the generator when you're purchasing your doll looks nothing like what the dolls look like in person. And I think that that's a huge issue, because when you want to make something that's really kind of out in left field with no examples before. I mean, a light-skinned Addy with blonde, short, curly hair. I haven't seen this doll before. So when I went to order it, I was like, I'm guessing what I think it'll look like. I think it's going to be awesome, but it could arrive and look like a total dumpster fire. And luckily today that wasn't the case. But after having, I don't want to say like a bad experience with my mini-me, but it's not a great experience when the doll arrives and its hair is messed up. The colors like don't look like they looked on the screen when you purchase it, which I know is challenging, but I just think they don't look good in person, you know, regardless of how they looked on the screen. And you know, I've had him for just a few months and I feel like I don't really want to keep that doll. I want to try again and make a better one. I think if I had gotten this doll and had a bad experience, whether it had gotten lost in the mail and they wouldn't replace it, or if I got the doll and just really didn't like it and was going to, you know, if I had tried to like see if I could swap it out for something different and I couldn't, you know, if this was a bad experience, I was not going to order from the Create Your Own line again. I'll be perfectly honest. Like, it's too much money to go and spend between $200 and $235 on a doll to not be head over heels with it. And, you know, time will kind of tell. I do feel like yesterday when I unboxed it, I liked him, but there was still that thing in the back of my head. I'm like, do I love him? And, you know, as of today, I really do. Like, again, looking at him in the monitor in person, I really, really like him. But, you know, I guess it's on me too if I just decide I don't after a few months. But, you know, if I keep purchasing these dolls, they're they're of the most expensive you can buy. They're not as expensive as the collector dolls, but they are some of the most expensive American Girl dolls you can buy from American Girl. And if I continue to get unpredictable results, and especially if I don't like them, it really makes me think twice about ordering from this line. But I will say, as of right now, I really love him and I plan to order more. I would definitely love to know who you would suggest in the comments, especially for boy dolls, because that's really kind of what I want to focus on. I'm thinking about potentially getting a Josefina with number 10 skin and red hair with the flip front, like the side part cut. That might be the next one I get. I'm not sure because I really want a red-haired boy, but I also would like a light-skinned Sonali, and I would also like a deep-skinned classic. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what my next move is and try and do as much research as I can on other people's dolls so I can kind of see some real-world examples of what they look like. But yeah, you do kind of like leave it up to chance almost when you order these things. You don't really know what they're going to look like. So if you're somebody that really likes blind box, are they called blind box? That's what we called them back in the day when they started to become popular in America in like the 2000s. I think if you're Australian, you call them lucky dip. But basically, when you buy a toy and you don't know which one you're getting, if you like that, then you might love ordering Create Your Own dolls because you really do get quite a surprise every time you order them, I swear. And maybe unless you've ordered like 10 already before. But yeah, it is quite a surprise every time you like untie the ribbon and open the box. So today I feel like I was pleasantly surprised. I think I'm going to end up keeping this doll and enjoying him. But yeah, I have to say, like, they do, I think, have a responsibility of making the customer happy with these things because they are quite expensive. So that's kind of my spiel on all of that. I would love to know what you think of my new doll. I mean, please don't tell me actually, you can tell me if you hate him. I really don't care. Yeah, this is the part where I remind you that this channel is mostly fan funded by my friends on Patreon that you can check out with the link in description. There are hours of extra content. So if you like hearing me ramble about American Girl, there's like basically days worth of content at this point. It's the best thing you can do to help support my channel so I can continue to make time to make doll videos for both YouTube and Patreon. You can also shop at my shop with the link in the description. There's some fan merch as well as vintage American Girl items, so be sure to check that out. I'm on all of the good social media platforms, so again, just go to the description. That's where all the links are. But if you want to hang out on YouTube a little bit more, you can maybe watch me in this video right here and we can keep doing this. So yeah, I hope to see you there. Later.